We got a problem with you mom. Not all you moms. They call them the beige moms.
The beige moms. Oh my God. I had never even heard of that until recently. I didn't even know that was a thing.
How does that even go? Like, you're walking around a store and like your kid asks you for a car and the car is blue and you're going to be like, no, let's go to the wood section. Mom, I don't want to play with no fucking block of car. I want to play with this one.
I never saw somebody's feed and saw some toys behind the mom's back and everything was so aesthetically pleasing in the home and they had colorful toys. I never thought in my mind, oh my God, the toys don't match the home. Going as far as to confiscating the colorful toys from your kids because it doesn't match the aesthetic in the home is... Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Elevate, where we strengthen our relationships so we can elevate our lives.
Let's get it. Episode 91, 92. We're about to hit triple digits.
Yes, we are. What are we talking about today?
We got a problem with you moms, but not all you moms.
Okay.
They call them the beige moms.
The beige moms. Oh my God. I had never even heard of that until recently. I didn't even know that was a thing.
But first of all, I want to know if the audience knows what a beige mom is. I don't know if Gen Z made this up or millennials made this up. I think it was Gen Z. But if you take a guess in the comment section what you think what a beige mom is before we continue.
So basically a beige mom is a pretty aesthetic, obsessed type of mom, we can say, right? So you know how now all the aesthetic look is to be very minimalistic, right? And very neutral tone. Like that's very in. And I love it. I think it's a very pretty look.
Uh-oh.
But I guess some moms have been taking it to the extreme. And so there's been conversation about how moms are taking it to such an extreme where they're not even allowing their kids to have regular toys, colorful toys, because it doesn't fit in with the aesthetic
of the home. And I watched this video and what she was saying, it made sense. So initially when the thing became popular of being, I don't know if initially it was called the beige mom, but it was more like having your kids use like wooden toys for like, you know, environmental and sustainability and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like the actual cause of it, the concept of it was cool. It was like, oh, say no to plastic. Everything is
artificial
wood.
colors,
yeah,
right.
Coloring. But there was this lady that went viral because she bought a green like plastic Christmas tree, but she spray painted it like beige or brown because it didn't go with thing. And you already know it was on TikTok.
The aesthetic of the home. So what is your personal opinion about that? Like,
I mean, that's crazy because it's like now the child is gonna consume spray paint.
I mean, what was the point?
Yeah.
You know, like if the point is to have toys that are, you know, less toxic, you know, with the coloring and stuff on it, you just defeated the whole purpose of it. So basically, people are ranting about the fact that it's no longer about it being environmentally friendly or free of toxins. It's more about the aesthetic and how obsessed some moms are with the aesthetics being so perfectly all the time. Yeah. And I think it's absurd. Yeah. I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Even the toys.
I mean, to go as far as to not be okay with your kids having colorful toys because it doesn't match the aesthetic in your home is a little overboard. Not even a little overboard. I think it's way overboard.
Yeah. And after I saw that video, I actually started noticing a lot more because before it was just like, okay, cool aesthetic. But now I'm like, oh, she's a beige mom for sure. So like if you scroll on Instagram, you'll see like people do photo shoots or take photos and you'll notice from what I saw in the video was that even the kids' clothing, like it's always like beige, brown, white, like every single clothing, like everything around the house is that color.
And some people throw in the, you know, well, it's gender neutral, you know, kind of thing. But come on now, let's be serious. I think it's a little, it's very overboard. Yeah. And I mean, one thing is for you to dress in these colors because you just genuinely are attracted to them. Like me, I'm mostly always wearing black or like dark colors, but it's not really because I'm like, oh my God, this is what is aesthetic. It's just, it's what I find it's easier to mix and match with. I
mean, it's not like we'll go to a store and be like,
colors.
Hey, it's Christmas time. We got to go shopping, but we have to go to the neutral section.
And I think it's beautiful. I'm not knocking it because these homes, when they're like with these neutral colors, they look very peaceful. I like that look.
No, the home is
very
beautiful.
Clean. But going as far as to confiscating the colorful toys from your kids because it doesn't match the aesthetic in the home is not okay. Like, I think even, your kids having colors in their room and seeing colors and interacting with colors is actually part of their development, if I'm not mistaken.
They said that on video.
So, like, how much are you trying to
slow down their development?
It doesn't make sense. It's too much. It's too overboard. It's too crazy. Like, your life doesn't need to look perfectly aesthetic all the time. It's not realistic.
No, and then it's overwhelming to the kid because it's like if the kid is home, let's say it's a newborn, and you have him like that all the way till he's like when they start school, 4 years old, 3 years old, and then they walk into a classroom and it's just like vibrant ass colors. They're gonna be like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, a lot of people, I feel like I say, there's so much information online that we're being fed constantly that you start believing certain things. Like, the kids get overstimulated. And when I grew up and I was going to kindergarten, we had so many colors everywhere. I never felt, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed by all these colors. I think it's just ridiculous. I think it's just one of those things where it's like people are just trying to find an excuse for their unreasonable behavior. It makes no sense.
No, and even like I feel like when our kids was growing up, it's like, they grab a toy and you say, oh, what color is this? This is blue. This is yellow. Like that. Like that is when they start learning their colors when they're really young. So it's like, this is beige, this is brown, and this is white. And that's it. That's all they learn.
And the whole like, even if you're dressing them up like that, because you want to dress them like gender neutral colors, I don't know. I just feel like that's overboard.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not cute. Like it looks
like let the kid be a kid. Let them even choose. I'm pretty sure if they were to go to a store, they would not be choosing neutral colors because kids are attracted to colors. And can we just stop? Let's just be freaking normal. Like, cool, you want to have a nice home, you want to have neutral colors in your home because you feel like it gives a peaceful vibe. I agree. Cool, but there needs to be a limit.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just go on through life expecting everything to match your vibe, including your kids' toys. I don't see the point in it.
And it's mostly because they want to, they say like they want every post on their social media to be aesthetic. So like when they post, like they can take pictures in the kids' bedroom, and
here
they
comes
can take
social media.
Yeah, they could take pictures with the kids anywhere, and it's always gonna be
aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, because the whole house, even the kids' room, the kids' playroom, are the same thing, and the kid always matching your Instagram feed because they're always in beige, brown, or white. So it doesn't. There's no room for failure. Like you can always post because it's not like, hey, I'm gonna mess up my feed, and that's how these some influencers think.
I find that thought process very exhausting. I would not be able to do that. You see how like a lot of people have their feed, perfectly curated with the colors and everything matches. At one point, I don't know how that came about in our conversations. We were talking about how like make the feed like more aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I just could never. It was we spoke about it, but I can't live my life so filtered. It's impossible for me because I'm not willing to compromise my peace for a feed. Like I'm not willing to stress myself out with such little things, such materialistic thing, like stressing over the color of my kid's toy because it doesn't match the aesthetic in my home is something to me that is so minuscule and unimportant that I find no reason why I would worry or stress myself out about that. I can't. I want to live my life the most free possible. I want to live my life with the least amount of stress. And I'm not willing to compromise my mental health for an aesthetically pleasing feed.
Yeah, and how does that even go? Like you're walking around a store and like your kid asks you for a car and the car is blue and you're gonna be like, no, let's go to the wood section. Like, Mom, I don't want to play with no fucking block of car. I want to play with this one with the
and that's what I mean. Like
Hot Wheels.
Yeah, I don't want to add. I don't want to be stressed out about that. Mm-hmm. There's so many other things that are much more important for me to be teaching my child than me being so worried about what color toys they're choosing.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I'm so fed up with the whole, you know, like your feed needs to be aesthetically pleasing, and let's just live our lives.
I think it's transitioning though. Like people are tired of that. Like people are tired of seeing.
And again, it's not to bash anyone who likes that look. I myself look at it and I'm like, oh my God, that looks so nice and clean. But when things, when
you have to go out of your way.
Exactly. Everything in excess, like excessively, is not good.
Yeah.
Like you need to have a balance.
Like it's not, you can't have like a super nice house.
Right.
But if that costs your kid to like not have colorful toys, it's like, okay.
Like if your kid is upset because they don't have colorful toys because you want to spray paint them beige, like I would really consider talking to a therapist at that point, because it just makes no sense. There's no point. I don't feel like there's any benefit to that other than you portraying this neutral gender aesthetically pleasing feed for everyone on social media. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Another thing that the girl mentioned in the video was that they go as far as like even all the birthday parties are like all white. Like all white balloons.
I've seen this.
White, and I'm not gonna lie, it does look super nice. But when I tie everything together, that's when it makes sense. Like, okay,
that's why.
Yeah. Because like, for example, for us, if we was to do an all white party, it would just be like, so it's not like, oh, we're gonna do an all white party because it matches the rest of our feed.
Yeah.
Even white balloons, like clear balloons, like only beige, only like super neutrals.
And when I think about like throwing parties, maybe if like my kids were to tell me like, yeah, I want my party to look that way, like, okay, cool, like it's your birthday.
I mean, but what kid is gonna be like, hey mom, I want an all white?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, but if you ask a child like, okay, what theme do you want your birthday party? Usually they're going to say some cartoon, some, you know, it's going to be colorful more likely than not. And so, again, like we've said this way in one of our like first episodes we ever did about the birthday party situation and how most of the time parties, the parties that are being thrown for these little kids, especially when they're like 1, 2, it's really for the parent and not the kid. A lot of the times, not all the time, you have your parents who actually, you know, want the kid to have, you know, nice pictures, memories, and you want to invite all the kids who are, you know, from your neighborhood or cousins, you know, cool. But a lot of parents go way above and beyond, not because the child wants that, but because it's the way that they want to be perceived by the rest of the parents. It's quite interesting. I think that a lot of parents stress themselves out more because of what other adults are going to think about the party that they're throwing their child, rather than thinking about, is my child really going to have a good time? Are we really celebrating them? Are they feeling celebrated? I always keep that in the back of my mind when I'm throwing like my kids' birthday parties. Maybe when like Armani was turning 1, I remember we did like this fondant cake. It was Monsters Inc.
Yeah. I mean, but that wasn't extravagant. That was just like,
it was in our house, but he didn't ask for that cake. Like we didn't have to get a fondant cake. Like, but you know, in comparison to a lot of parties, that was nothing. Like we did absolutely nothing. But other than that, I've always asked my kids, like, what do you want? Like, you know, is there any, you know, birthday theme you want? And even then, I try not to go too overboard to where I'm throwing a party I can't even afford.
Yeah.
Because it just makes zero sense for me to be stressing myself out because of what other adults who are going to come are going to think. Like, I mostly think about the kids that are going to come. Like, is there any goodie bags I want to make for them? What are some games that they might enjoy while they're there? I'm not worried about so much about what the parents are gonna think about the type of party I'm throwing my child. As long as my child is happy and the friends and the cousins that they want there are there, mission accomplished. I think that's the main thing you want.
I think that even happened to, I don't know, I guess it was Zena's last birthday, that we was kind of like stressing, and I was like, bro, we ordering pizza. Like, this is for kids.
And it's like, if we, let's say, went all out and bought all this food, it was a small event. Like, we didn't invite a lot of people. If we ordered like all this food and extravagant food from a restaurant, most likely than not, there was going to be a lot of food left over, because the kids don't even eat that. You know, especially not when they're in a birthday party and all they want to do is run around and play around with the friends. Kids are so easily satisfied, and it's us, the adults, who make things so complicated. And I just refuse to be so stressed out on the day of my kid's birthday party because I want to impress the rest of the adults. Like, I'm so over that mentality. And if you as an adult are invited to my kid's birthday party and you have the nerve to complain about, you know, how we didn't have alcohol for you, or we didn't have the food you wanted, you know, if I ever was to know you felt that way, that would be the last time you'd be invited, because the last thing you have to have in your mind is that, like, when I go to another kid's birthday party, it's all about the kid. Hey, how are you? Oh my God, happy birthday. You know, let me give you your gift so you can, you know, feel special and feel celebrated. I just want to see the kids having a good time. Like, the last thing on my mind is, do they have alcohol for me? Do they have what I want to eat? Like, most of the time, I even go to these birthday parties, you know, like, haven't ate something already, because I don't want them to feel like they have to cater to me. You know, like, it's about the kids. It's about celebrating them. It's their day. And I just feel like as parents, sometimes we put so much stress on ourselves on those days that we don't even get to enjoy the day with the kids, because we're so stressed out about things that don't even have to do anything with them.
Yeah, as long as there's like little activities and things for the kids and snacks and stuff like that, most of the times, like, they'll be super happy. And the adults will go home and they'll eat after. They'll be all right.
Yeah. And you know, like, it's not to say that I don't want to cater to the adults who are there too, who are bringing their kids, you know, but again, do as much as you humanly can, like, as much as you can afford. Like, don't go overboard because you're trying to impress other adults. But yes, I think that the parents that are doing this just need to get a grip on themselves. Like, relax. It's not that serious. Like, my opinion, it is never that serious. If you are in a place where, you know, you got money to splurge and you just want your party to look extravagant, I don't know, and your kid also wants that, like, kudos to you. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But going above and beyond, stressing yourself out because, you know, you want everything to look aesthetically pleasing, I don't know why the why the hell is stress that I don't want in my life, and I don't think anyone should be putting themselves through that.
It's already hard enough to find regular toys. Imagine having to find beige ones.
Yeah. Like, let's just live life and with the least amount of complications as possible. Life is already complicated for us to be adding more complications to it with aesthetics and, you know, materialistic things. Like, life is so much more than that. And if we learn to just be present and enjoy the moments and stop focusing so much on material things and, you know, how people are going to perceive us and, you know, how people are going to view us, because a lot of people do these things because of how others view them. It's not really because they love it so much. It's really about how other people are viewing them. If we just learn to live in the present and enjoy every moment and stop focusing so much on those materialistic things, we would be so much happier.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's going back to the social media posting. Like, if you want your home to be so aesthetic for you to be able to post, just don't post when you're in your kids' room. Like,
that's their space.
Yeah, like, let the kids do what they do, but whatever. But yeah, this was a short one. Just we wanted to recap on that video that we saw and take it away.
I'll talk a little bit about beige moms. Sorry if I offended anyone. That was not the point of this video. It was just, you should be
offended. You should let your kids have colorful toys.
But the point is not for us to offend anyone. Yeah. It's really to talk about, the things that are going on in this day and age, and how.
Well, to give you a different perspective too, because some people might not even look at it that way. They might just be like, "Oh no, this is."
Yeah, totally you might be stressing yourself out because you want your house to be so aesthetically pleasing, and you want your kids' toys to match your aesthetics, and meanwhile, other people are not even paying attention to that. Yeah. I never even thought about that. Yeah. I never saw somebody's feed and saw some toys behind the mom's back and everything was so aesthetically pleasing in the home and they had colorful toys. I never thought in my mind, oh my God, the toys don't match the home. Like I never really thought about that. So here, you might have some moms really overanalyzing these things and stressing themselves out over these little things, and other people don't care.
Literally.
So yeah, let's just lighten up a little bit and live life. Let our kids be kids. Let them see color, because that's what being a kid is about. All right, that's it for today's episode, you guys. Thank you so much for watching or listening. Until next time.
Peace.